Okay, so this story is about how we brought a few ghosts back to our warehouse. I've been in the race business for like 20 years already, so I do race timing for events. There was this year where we were doing this night off-road racing event in Lorong Asmara, opposite Mandai camp. So inside this Mandai camp, there's like SAF use it for training, so it's like training ground. But this organizer managed to secure this venue to hold a night race. So I think 10 km or 15 km, run 10 km or 50 km inside the darkness and off-road, if you can imagine that. So everybody gets a headlamp. They give you a headlamp FOC as part of your entitlements, and people wear this and run. And by the time they finished, then we have to go inside all the checkpoints to keep all our equipment. So with this race thing, if you are the crew, you're always the first one to arrive and the last one to go home, right? So you can imagine, with no crowd, I'm driving my vehicle inside this jungly place, off-road, no lights. The only lights is from the vehicle. And then with me, I have my logistic partner, so they have a bigger lorry that I would put my things inside, right? As we went around collecting the stuff, by the time we finished, it's like 3-4 a.m. in the middle of the night. Normally, this logistic guy have my warehouse key, so I don't need to go back. From there, I just go home, and then he would return all my items back to my warehouse. If we rewind a bit, okay, talk back about the event. So I have this event organizer partner who like to burn kim chua before the start of any event. So any event he organizes anywhere, he has the opportunity, open air, he has the opportunity to make some offerings, and he will burn some kim chua. And if we know, like say the Chinese style, right, that kim chua burning pot, you don't keep it inside your house. You see people, they put it outside their house, right? But our logistic partner, let's call them foreign talent, they didn't know about all this. So whatever that we got, throw it inside the warehouse and tie it in a garbage bag. Okay, throw it inside the warehouse. Saying, oh, I'm late, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., tired, go home. Okay, so forward again. So after keeping, I went home. Had this logistic partner with a big lorry. He was driving back to the warehouse. So once he turned out from that Mandai place and then started driving on the highway, he heard in the back, the box lorry, right? People pounding inside the back of the lorry, like so loud, and that he had to stop the lorry, get out, and look. Is there anybody inside?
I really don't feel good like this. I'm getting a lot.
Is anyone here? What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.
So he stopped the lorry, got out, opened, shine torchlight. Nobody, hello, nobody, no stowaways. So okay. He closed and he went to the warehouse. Fast forward a few months, right? Sometimes I need to go to the warehouse in the middle of the night, like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. To either exchange equipment or do, some equipment maintenance. So I remember we were doing this race at East Coast, and whatever equipment that we brought, one set wasn't working properly. So I was like, okay, take this one, bring it back to the warehouse. And at the time, my former girlfriend, now wife, was in the car with me and said that I need to drop by the warehouse just to exchange this thing, and then we will put it back, we will install it at the race tomorrow, and and I park outside the unit. I don't know, very fast. I just go in and swap it, and that's it. So I went in, did my thing, rummaging around, and then took what I needed to, and then came back probably 15 minutes. And then when I got back into the car, she looked at me and asked, "You are the only one inside this, nobody working in the warehouse?" I said, "No, what time already? Nobody, like, only me." "You sure?" I said, "Yeah, only me." Yeah, I said, why? Then she said, no lah, tell you, you know. So we drove out, you know, and we were almost home, you know. Then she told me, "I saw somebody standing in the doorway and can even say the hairstyle, you know." So she described the hairstyle like a, you know, those window curtain type of hairstyle. When we are preparing any race, we need to do, you know, some maybe goodie bag packing, or, you know, like assembly of the race tags or whatever we do. So we have a crew to do it in this warehouse. One of the things that everybody witnessed, and not only once, repeatedly over months, is that every time we are working at the front, you know, a warehouse, maybe we have a table or a few tables, and then in the back is all shelves. We can hear people chattering behind, you know. So we'll be doing our stuff in the front, and then everybody working will look at each other, and they won't say anything, but they were like, I said, and we will listen, and we can't figure out what they're saying, but, you know, you can hear that heated discussion is happening, you know. And it's not one person, it's a few people, like 3 or 4 people.
You couldn't make out the words, but
Can't.
could you hear at least
The
language?
no, the volume is there. The volume is loud enough for even 10 people to stop what they're doing, and, you know,
English, Chinese, the accent, kind of
it's like it's like a conversation, but we don't
like a lot of people
understand.
talking in a very aggressive manner.
No, they are having it's a discussion, but we can't figure out what is the language. It's like no language that I've ever heard.
Could it be the neighbors? Could it be voices that come from a nearby place? How is the warehouse like that? You know, is it that there is no mistake that the voices there should not be from any other place?
Nope. The warehouse, we aircon it, so windows are closed. The walls are thick enough that you don't hear the neighbors, and the kind of hours that we are working, there are no neighbors around anyway. You know, we are always doing things, event company, always do things after hours. And this wasn't a once-off thing. It happened multiple times. So much so that I shared with my partners, hey, we have to do something about the warehouse, you know, because the crew that go do stuff is making some comments or some feedback. So okay, then at that time, I mean, I'm not an active religious practitioner in anything, but they are Taoists or Buddhists or whatever they do. So they got some monk to go and, you know, do something, and he had some food and offerings, and they did something. But it didn't last. At most 2-3 months only. So my own personal experience, right, was that when I went to the warehouse again at like 2-3 a.m. in the middle of the night to go and fix some of the equipment that I have are in those like flight case, you know. It's a heavy duty suitcase lah, so all the equipment is inside. So I was sitting on the floor, unscrewing all the nuts. I want to open up and change something, and I was using those battery powered drill to unscrew. So it's those, you know, so big thing. So I put it on the side. I was sitting on the floor and unscrewing. And the next time I wanted to use that drill to unscrew further, the drill disappeared, you know. I was like, where's the drill? And then so I pick up this suitcase and look. It's like, don't have. To me, it's like, it's not that I'm using a screwdriver and the screwdriver roll away under the table or under the shelf somewhere, right? It's a drill. It's heavy. It's battery. It's not rolling anywhere, you know. in my head, I didn't say it out, but I shouted in my head, if you know what I mean, right? Something like, "Hey, 卖差啦, Louis 排摊啊," something to that extent, right? In my head. And the next time I look down, the drill is there. And I heard a giggle, like,
How do you manage to clear the spirits?
we didn't. So, probably 6 months later, the contract ended, and we moved out. I told them, don't bring that pot around, that burning pot, leave it outside, don't
Did
bring
you
it.
eventually discover that somebody brought it inside the room?
The foreign talent logistic.
But you didn't discover that for the 6 months until...
No, we know. They brought it after that event. So that's why all these things started after that particular event. So after that event, they packed up everything and they brought everything back to the warehouse. But normally you don't want to bring this thing inside. You just leave it
So the
outside.
next day when you go back and do logistic check, you saw it in the office.
Yeah, it's there already. Then I was
You
like,
take it out lah.
yeah, but
Too late
too
lah.
late. Too late. So when the contract ended, we just moved out and okay, it's not my problem anymore. If they want to stay there, go ahead and stay there.
Ubi.
Then bye.
Is this in Ubi?
Yep. I would say the building name lah. I can tell you later, but but I don't want to say the building name. It's still around. It's not an old one. It's
Okay.
fairly
So you-
current.
Okay.
Yeah. The last one. My father-in-law story. So my father-in-law in Singapore, he was an artist, so he does painting. We always go to eat at his house on Friday. After work, we'll go to his house to eat on Friday. So he pulled me aside, and then he told me, he told my then girlfriend, you go and scoop rice. So she walked to the kitchen to scoop rice. And so in the living room, it was just me and him. Right, so he told me, my last wish is that I want y'all to get married. Then I was like, okay, I mean,
Pressure.
what you mean? It's like I want to sign the ROM cert. Then I say, yeah, I mean, we'll get married eventually, right?
By time.
Right, so he says, no. Within the next 2-3 months,
Wow.
我要吃喜酒. Right? And then he said like maybe he has 6 months left. In my head at the moment I was like, I had to get a restaurant booking or hotel booking in such short notice. So okay, never mind. Ate the dinner in the usual way. I find his habits are very funny, We go for dinner every Friday. During dinner, I will start talking something, I like to eat and talk. And to me, dinner is a social activity to catch up with family or friends or whatever they are doing. That's why people, have a meal together, right? To talk, right? So eat, and then he'll tell me like, shh, 吃完先才讲. Okay. So it's like, shut up and eat your dinner. Fine. Okay. Then I keep quiet and eat my dinner. Fine. And then, after dinner, we go out to sit in the living room. And then I'll start talking again. Blah, blah, blah. And then he'll tell me like, shh, 我在看新闻. Because like what, channel 8, what time is the news? 9 o'clock or something. So we finish dinner. It's probably almost 9. And then we move out to... My comment to my wife, it's like, every time we go and eat at your father's house, nobody talks anything, ask me to shut up during dinner. Then later on when we move out to the living room, shut up while watching TV. Then after the news, then we just go home, And for maybe I went there for dinner for 10 years or something, Maybe that's why he was like nagging, yeah, I want to sign your ROM because we were doing this for 10 years,
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah lah, no budget, man. Running a business, busy, Anyway, so over these 10 years, same old routine. Never spoke anything. Right? It's always eat dinner, shut up, watch news, shut up, and then go home, right? So I didn't really know him, and he didn't really know me, and it's probably 2016. 2016, sometime when February or March. Then, he told me this, like, I need you to do something. I want to eat xi jiu in the next couple of months. So okay, whatever. So we got married, and I couldn't find a venue. So I pulled in all my event lobang, Hey bro, help me make a tentage. Ask the mobile kitchen to go there and peng xiu tu, and so okay, fine. So fine, you eat your wedding dinner, I'm off the hook, you sign the ROM, finish. And within probably that year, November or December, I was doing a race in the morning, and I got an SMS that said, oh, passed already. And quite quickly, within the next couple of weeks, had the usual thing, and then cremation, everything. I was at home, and my wife said something like, I don't know, off the top of her head, she says like, open a can of beer for Papa lah, or something like that. So she likes this, he also likes this brand. We won't say what's the brand. So she opened a can, put it on the table, then pour a bit, and okay. So I was watching TV, and I fell asleep after a while, sitting on this lazy boy chair. I fell asleep, and I had this weird feeling that I need to open my eyes. Probably I went to sleep for a couple of hours already. So I opened my eyes, and I saw standing in front of me a dark shadow silhouette of a person just standing there and looking at me. And why this thing it was so clear, because in my TV room I have a very big TV, so it's like one whole wall projector, so it's 3 meters, one whole wall. So imagine my home theater, I'm sitting there and I fell asleep. I woke up and I can see somebody standing halfway between the wall and me, looking at me. And of course, if it's a person, if you stand in front of a projector, the light is on you, and the screen at the time is still on. But it was just a black shadow that is opaque, so I can't see through what is on the back of the screen. So I think I was watching like BBC News or something. So, and I thought there was something in my eye, so I rubbed my eye and I was looking at it, and then I went like this and I went like this, and the thing was still there. And then I said, okay, maybe need to blink. So I blink, slow blink. It was like, it's still there. So I didn't say anything. I said, okay, cover blanket. And then the next day, woke up. It's like, oh, it's the next day already.
I thought you would try to talk to the black thing.
No, when when it was, I think, in that moment, I somehow regret why I regret like I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
But in that moment, if you see somebody standing in front of you in your house and you can't figure out who it is, and it's not really a person, it's like, So again, I froze, and
Then girlfriend or wife didn't encounter her father at all.
So she was asking me, like, how come Papa can find you, not me? So it's kind of see like, what is this useless guy, married already, what is he doing? Watching TV, You know what I mean? So,
I really don't feel good. You're getting a life.
Is anyone here?
What did you find? You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.